We are Rogue Media Sports.
That's another first down, brought to you by BAM Remodeling. From concept to completion, BAM delivers quality craftsmanship and stunning results. Whether it's a bold kitchen update or a full home makeover, BAM is here to help. Give your home the upgrade it deserves. Call 254-716-9987 or visit remodelwithbam.com. That's remodelwithbam.com. BAM Remodeling. Dream big. Remodel better.
All right, welcome to the preview / kickoff show right here with Rogue Media. Coming up, we're going to go around the Waco area with some scores from this past weekend and look forward to what's coming up this weekend, this Friday night. We'll start with the 6A scores from around the area. The couple 6A scores that we had were the Midway Panthers. They were off this past week. Coming up this week, we had the Killeen Shoemaker Wolves versus the Copperas Cove Bulldogs at Bulldog Stadium. Had the Hewitt Midway Panthers at Killeen. Also had the Temple Wildcats at the Bryan Vikings, which means Harker Heights will have the week off. And just looking at last week, looking at the scores from that district last week, it looks like Midway had the week off last week. The scores from that district were Killeen Shoemaker Gray Wolves had 42. The Bryan Vikings had 19. The Copperas Cove Bulldogs were at the Harker Heights Knights. And the final score on that one was Killeen Harker Heights 36. The Copperas Cove Bulldogs 16. And then there was also the Killeen Kangaroos at the Temple Wildcats. The final on that one was the Temple Wildcats 42 and the Killeen Kangaroos 14. All right, going down to the 5A district right here in Central Texas. We had the Waco High Lions versus the Killeen Ellison Eagles, with the final score on that one being 56-7 in favor of the Killeen Ellison Eagles. Had Brenham Cubs, Brian Rudder Rangers, with the Cubs defeating the Rangers 53-13. And then we had Belton at Waco University with the score 33-27, with the Trojans coming on top. And looking up to this weekend, to this coming Friday night, we have Waco High at University, which is going to be the battle for Waco. Also had the Belton Tigers, or Brian Rudder Rangers at the Belton Tigers, and then the Killeen Ellison Eagles at the Brenham Cubs. All right, let's go to the next district here around the Central Texas area, which brings us to 4A Division II. It's going to be last week I know it was China Spring and La Vega. La Vega defeated China Spring. And then you had Robinson and Conley. Robinson defeated Conley. Okay, the final one, Waco La Vega versus the China Spring Cougars was 38-17, La Vega Pirates. You had the Gatesville Hornets at the Lorena Leopards with the score 45 for Gatesville, Lorena Leopards 21. And then the final for Waco Conley and Robinson Rockets was 41 for the Rockets, 27 for the Cadets. And looking forward to this week, we have Waco Robinson traveling to La Vega. We have China Spring traveling to Gatesville, and we have Lorena traveling to Conley. I know that district. And then the Waco versus the La Vega versus Robinson game is for first place in that district. What a pretty good district right there. And you can see China Spring Cougar football on Rogue Media Sports every Friday night. And you can also see Conley Cadet football on there, along with Midway, the Midway Panthers. All right, let's look at 3A, another district around here. We had last week we had West all over Mahia last week, and we're in 3A District 5, 3A Division 2, 3A Division 1 District 5. We had Maypearl playing against Whitney, and the final on that one was Whitney 56, Maypearl 13. Then we also had the Groesbeck Goats at the Grandview Zebras, with the score being on that one, the Zebras 62, the Goats 10. And then we had Mahia Blackcats traveling to West Common, Texas, with the score being 64-0 West Trojans all over the Mahia Blackcats. Coming up this week, we had the Whitney Wildcats traveling to to Mahia. We also had the Grandview Zebras going against Pearl Panthers. And then we have the West Trojans traveling to the Groesbeck Goats on Friday night. All right, let's go down here to 3A Division 2. I know we have some teams in that district around the Waco area. Actually, we do not, actually. All right, we're looking at 2A Division 1 right here. We have the Hamilton Bulldogs. Last week we had some Cen-Tex area teams right here. We had the Hamilton Bulldogs playing against Ballinger Bearcats with the score of 61-0 right there. I know Hamilton's kind of in our area. We had Heiko against Bangs, with Bangs winning that one. Then we had De Leon playing against Coleman, with De Leon defeating the Blue Cats 58-0. All right, let's go to another district, 2A Division 2. I did forget one division here in this district. We had the Rio Vista Eagles versus the Bosqueville Bulldogs, with the Eagles beating the Bulldogs 39-37. But remember, the Rio Vista Eagles are not allowed into the playoffs this year. And we also had the Italy Gladiators versus the Axtell Longhorns, with that one the Longhorns beating the Gladiators 45-0. And then we had Valley Mills Eagles versus the Itasca Wampus Cats, and it came out this week also that the Wampus Cats were going to forfeit their rest of their season due to injuries. Coming up in that district this week, we have Dawson playing the Valley Mills Eagles. Then we had the Rio Vista this one's actually a forfeit, actually. The Rio Vista Eagles are going to play the Wampus Cats. And then the Bosqueville Bulldogs are traveling to Italy, Texas to play the Gladiators. All right, here we go with the 2A Division 2 from last week. District 10 this past Friday night, we had the Bremont Tigers traveling to Goldthwaite to play. And the Tigers of Bremont beat the Eagles 47-0. We had the Frost Polar Bears traveling to Chilton to play the Pirates, and the Pirates beat the Polar Bears 47-10. And then we had the Mart Panthers traveling to Hubbard to play the Jaguars. The Panthers shut out the Jaguars 61-0. Let's see. Then this week we have the Meridian Yellow Jackets traveling to the Mart Panthers. We had the Goldthwaite Eagles traveling to Wortham. Then we also have the Chilton Pirates traveling to Bremont. That game is probably going to be a good game. And then we had the Hubbard Jaguars traveling to Frost to play. And let's look at 1A six-man division. Division 1, actually. Okay, last week we had the Aquila Cougars and the Gosler Wildcats playing. And the Aquila Cougars won 88-0 on that one. And then we had the Abbott Panthers traveling to Coolidge to play the Yellow Jackets, with the Yellow Jackets of Coolidge winning 62-38. Looking forward to this week. We had the Penelope Wolverines traveling to Aquila to play. And then we had the Golson Wildcats traveling just down the road to Abbott to play on Friday night. Let's look at six-man Division 2. This one has Calvert Trojans and the Buckholt Badgers last week. Let's look at last week's score before we move on. We had the Cransville Gap Lions playing the Oglesby Tigers, and the Oglesby Tigers won 69-0. Then we had the Buckholz Badgers playing Prairie Lee Indians, with that score being 58-8 to the Indians. And then we had Calvert versus Oakwood, and Oakwood won that game 61-0. And let's look at this week. This week in that district, we had the Calvert Trojans traveling to Buckholz to play the Badgers. And we have the Oglesby Tigers traveling to Pretty to play this week. And let's look at private schools from around here. We have Riker up. I believe I'm not sure who they're just playing yet. They don't have it on the schedule right here. Let's see who. We got Texas Wind, who played the Johnson County Sports Association last week. See if I can find the scores from last week from private schools. We had Vanguard, who played the Midland Trinity. Vanguard won 62-14. We had the Methodist Home, who played St. Mary's Catholic School. They won 52-0. We also had Marlin, who played. I forgot about them. They won 40-3 over the Bruceville Eddy Eagles. We had Rosebud Lott versus Moody, also, which is a 32-8. McGregor, who is also in Central Texas, lost to Rockdale 36-38. Then we had Live Oak versus Mercy Cultural Prep. They played this past week. Just a lot of football still to go. I know we're in the heart of district right now. See if we can look at district standings real quick. Okay, here's the one for this is six-man Division 1, Region 3, District 11. And this district has Aquila in it. Also has Coolidge, Abbott, Golson, and Penelope. And so far, Penelope, when looking at the district standings right now, Aquila is leading the district with a 2-0 record in the district. Coolidge is 0-1 in the district. Abbott hasn't played a district game just yet. And then you have Golson, who is 0-1 in the district, and then you have Penelope right now. That's your district right there. Let's go look at the next district. The district that Oglesby is in. Oglesby is actually leading that district right now, going into this week's play. Then you have Even in that district, Cransville's Gap. And you also have Mullen and Pretty in that district. I know, and with the 4A Division 2, the district right here in Central Texas with Robinson, Lorena, China Spring, La Vega, Conley, and Gatesville. I know China Spring is 1-1 in district. I believe the Gatesville Hornets are 1-1 in the district also. Conley is 0-2 in the district. Also know that La Vega is 2-0 in district. Robinson is 2-0 in district, and Lorena is 0-2 in district. So that's a 6-team district, and I know only 4 will make the playoffs. So right now, looks like Lorena and Conley are looking out on the outside, looking in, while the other 4 are there. Like I said, that's going to be a tough district. That always is a tough district with that rivalries all around Central Texas. See if I can find some other districts right here. All right, looking at the Midway Panthers, who are 6-1 they are 6-1 right now on the season. The Midway Panthers, their only loss has come to the Harker Heights Knights. That's pretty good. Hopefully the Panthers can get a dub down there at Leo Buckley Stadium this week. Kind of looking at University Trojans right here. They're actually 4-3 on the season. They have lost to Keller Central. They lost to Lampasas, and this week they also lost to the Killeen Shoemaker Grey Wolves. But coming up, I know they have Waco High this week. Waco High is actually winless on the season. Hopefully they can get their first win this coming week. But like I said, it's a battle for Waco at Waco ISD. All right, let's look at 4A Division 2, the Central Texas District. Looking at the Lorena Leopards, they're 2-5 on the season, with losses to Austin Regents, lost to Franklin. They have also lost to Robinson, and they have lost to Gatesville. That makes them 0-2 in the district going into this week, where they're going to play Waco Conley. Looking at the Gatesville Hornets, they are 6-1 in the district. Well, here's the district standings right here. I got it right here now. Leading the division right now is the Robinson Rockets. They're 6-1 on the season. The Waco La Vega Pirates are 5-2 on the season. China Spring Cougars are sitting at 2-5. They are 1-1 in the district. The Gatesville Hornets are 6-1 on the season, 1-1 in district. And the Lorena Leopards are 2-5, 0-2 in the district. And then you have the Waco Conley Cadets sitting at 2-5 also, with 0-2 in the district. Someone is actually going to get a district win there. So one team in that district is going to fall to 0-3 on the season. All right, here we go with the 6A Division 6A Region 2 District 12. The standings right here look like this going into this week. The Harker Heights Knights are sitting at 6-2 overall record, 4-0 in the district. They're on a bye this week. The Killeen Shoemaker Wolves are sitting at 7-1, 3-1 in the district. The Coppers Cove Bulldogs are 5-2 overall, 2-1 in the district. And then you had the Midway Panthers, who are 6-1 on the season, 2-1 in the district. The Temple Wildcats are sitting at 5-2 overall, and are 1-2 in the district. Then you have the Bryan Vikings, who are 0-7 or winless on the season, sitting at 0-3 in the district. And then the Killeen Kangaroos, who are 0-8 on the season, sitting at 0-4 in the district. And to go ahead and look, like I said, looking at this week, the Harker Heights Knights are on a bye. The Shoemaker Grey Wolves are playing the Coppers Cove Bulldogs for second place in the district right there. And then you had the Panthers, who are going to play the Killeen Kangaroos. the Wildcats, who are playing the Bryan Vikings, and that's that district. And let's go look at Waco High's district. And the district that Waco High and University are both in. Actually, we're going to check Lake Belton and Killeen Chaparral. We did not check them. They're actually around the Waco area. All right, here we go. Okay, last week we had the Chaparral Bobcats and the Leander Rouse Raiders who played. And the Rouse Raiders were all over the Chaparral Bobcats. You had the Georgetown Eagles and the Georgetown Eastview Patriots playing. And the Eagles won 31-8. You had the Cedar Park Timberwolves and the Leander Glen Grizzlies playing. And the Timberwolves beat the Grizzlies 52-28. And then the Leander Lions traveled down to Belton, Texas to play the Lake Belton Broncos, and they won 45-0. Let's see going into this week. We have looking at that district standings. We have the Georgetown Eagles, who are 6-1 overall, and they are leading the district. Next week they got the Leander Glen Grizzlies. Then you got the Cedar Park Timberwolves, who are 4-3 on the season, 3-1 in the district. They are playing the Lake Belton Broncos. Then you have the Georgetown Eastview Patriots, who are 5-2 on the season, 3-1 in the district. And they are playing the Chaparral Bobcats. Then you have the Lake Belton Broncos, who are 4-3 in the district, or overall, 3-1 in the district. And the Leander Lions, who are 3-4 on the season, 2-2 overall. They're playing the Leander Rouse Raiders. So a battle for Leander right there. Then you have the Rouse Raiders, who are 3-4, 1-3 on the district. And then you have the Killeen Chaparral Bobcats, who are 2-5 on the season, 0-4 in the district. And let's look at 5A Division II right here. Let's look at that district standings, see how it looks. All right, looking at this district right here, the 5A Division II with Waco High University and Belton Tigers in that, with the Ellison Eagles also. Looking at this district, the Brenham Cubs are 7-0 overall, 2-0 on the season. The Waco University Trojans are 4-3 on the season, 2-0 in the league. The Belton Tigers are 3-4 on the season, 1-1 in district. The Killeen Ellison Eagles are 3-4 on the season, 1-1 in district. And then you have the Bryan Rudder Rangers, who are 1-6 on the season, 0-2 in the district. And then you have the Waco High Lions, who are winless on the season, 0-2 in the district. I know I'm just gonna let's go look at 3A Division I here. Let's look at that district. Okay, so far on that district, the West Trojans are 6-1 on the season, 2-0 in the league. The Whitney Wildcats are 5-2 on the season, 2-0 in that district. The Grandview Zebras, who are 5-2 on the season, 1-1. The Mahia Blackcats are 1-6 on the season, 1-1 in the district. The Groesbeck Goats, who are 2-5 on the season, 0-2 in the district. And then you had the Maypearl Panthers, who are 2-5 on the season and 0-2 in the district. 3A Division I, District 5. All right, let's go look at 3A Division II, their standings over here. We have the Clifton Cubs that are from around the Waco area right here. The Clifton Cubs right now are 5-2 on the season, 1-1 in that district. Sitting in third place right now. See if they can get up there and try to do this. Like, we got about 3 more weeks until the playoffs start. So it's getting down to the nitty gritty right here. Some of the teams, like I say, some of these teams are trying to make the playoffs. The other teams are getting ready for basketball. Okay, here we go. I missed this district a little bit earlier. This has McGregor, Franklin, Rockdale, Camino, Troy, and Little River Academy in this one. We're looking at next week here. Last week, I did forget that district just a little bit ago. So we had the Little River Academy Bumblebees traveling to Franklin to play, and the Franklin Lions won that one 64-14. You also had the Yeomen traveling down to Troy, with the Trojans of Troy winning 42-24. And then you had McGregor traveling to Rockdale to play, and the Rockdale Tigers won 36-35. Let's look at standings in this district. You have the Franklin Lions on top of the district at 4-2 overall record, 2-0 in the district. You have the Little River Academy Bumblebees sitting at 3-4 overall in the season, 1-1 in the district. The McGregor Bulldogs sitting at 1-6 in the 1-6 on the year, 1-1 on the season. You had the Rockdale Tigers sitting at 4-3 on the season, 1-1. in the district. You had the Troy Trojans sitting at 4-3 on the season and 1-1 in the district. And then you had the Cameron Yeoman. What a surprise there, sitting at 2-5, 0-2 in the district. So hopefully the Yeoman can try to get back up there. Okay, let's look at this district real quick. We looked at the scores from last week and the score and the who's playing who, but let's look at the district. The district standings going into this week. Looks like the Axtell Longhorns are sitting at 7-1 overall, 4-0 in the district. Then you had the Rio Vista Eagles sitting at 6-1 on the season, 3-0 in the district. You had the Bosqueville Bulldogs sitting at 6-2 overall record, 2-2 in the district. You had the Dawson Bulldogs sitting at 3-4 on the season, 2-1 in the district. The Valley Mills Eagles sitting at 5-3 on the season, 2-2 in the district. The Italy Gladiators sitting at 2-6 on the season, 1-3 in the district. And then you had the Wampus Cats, who are going to fall with all their forfeits. They're going to be 0-10. Then that means they're going to be 0-6 in the district. Kind of hate that for them. I know they got a lot of injuries. Just kind of hate that for all the players on that team. But I know injuries are a part of the game. All right, let's look at 2A Division 2, the district at Division 2, the division that the Mart Panthers are in. All right, here we go. Let's look at this one. So far, the Bremont Tigers are overall record with 7-0, 4-0 in the district. The Chilton Pirates are also 7-0 in the district, 4-0. The Frost Polar Bears are 5-2 overall, 2-2 in the district. The Goldthwaite Eagles are 4-3 on the season, 2-2 in the district. Then you had the Mart Panthers, which are surprising, are 3-4 on the season, 2-2 in the district. Then you had the Meridian Yellow Jackets, 1-6 on the season, 1-3 in district. And the Wortham Bulldogs, who are 1-6 on the season, 1-3 in the district. And then you had the Hubbard Jaguars, who are 2-5 on the season, 0-4 in the district. Let's look at this last district right here, the 6-man Division 1 district. Looking at this district, the Aquila Cougars are 8-0 overall, 2-0 on the season. The Apple Springs Eagles, who are 3-3 on the season, 1-0. The Chester Yellow Jackets are 4-1, 1-0 on the season. Then you had the Coolidge Yellow Jackets, who are 6-2 on the season, 1-1 in the district. The Abbott Panthers, who are 2-4 on the season, 0-1 in the district. Burkesville Mustangs are 1-1 on the season. They haven't played a district game just yet. And then you have the Golson Wildcats, who are 1-4 on the season, 0-1 in the district. The High Island Cardinals, they don't have a record on here just yet. And then looking at Penelope, they're 0-4 on the season, 0-2 in the district. Let's look at one more district right here, the Oglesby district. All right, looking at this district right here, we got the Event Elks, who are 2-4 on the season, 1-0 in the district. The Oglesby Tigers, who are 4-1 on the season, 1-0 in the district. And the Cransfield Gap Lions, who are 3-3 on the season, 0-1 in the district. And the Moreland Bulldogs, who are 1-4, 0-1 in the district. That pretty much wraps up our preview kickoff show for this week. Well, I'll see you next Monday right here to let us go over this last week's week 9. It's hard to believe that it is week 9 coming up right here on the preview kickoff show. Thank you for joining me. Once again, my name is Brandon Stone.
We are Rogue Media Sports.